You're French, or you bought a phone in France. Congratulations! Over the last year you've helped pay €300 million to rights holders. Yes, that 64GB or more phone you bought recently cost you €17 more than it should have, because inevitably you're going to use it to copy copyrighted material, and that €17 needs to be distributed among rights holders. Actually, it's €14 plus 20% tax. Of course, devices with different storage capability will have different rates, but who buys a phone less than 64GB? Oh, by the way, it isn't just phones, and it isn't just France. I just happen to have the French figures to hand, and it's any kind of storage you can copy stuff to. And it's Belgium, Canada, Finland, Germany, Netherlands, Portugal, Russian Federation, Sweden and Switzerland, according to good old Wikipedia. If you live in any of these countries, poor you. Anyway, distributed among rights holders. Distributed how? Don't worry, the rich will make sure that they get more than their fair share, and independent musicians will get, probably, nothing. If, as a French independent musician, you know more than me, and of course you do, tell us all in the comments. Or if you're in any of the other countries I mentioned. Now, I've been part of a similar scheme in the past. I suppose I still am technically. Back in 1979, it was decided on high that if public lending libraries were sharing books for free, authors would lose out on royalties they might otherwise have made. Unlike music, most books are read only once. So, yes, with my 4 published books, I was eager to sign up for the public lending right. And my books did, back in the day, find their way onto library shelves. How much did I get from the public lending right? Nothing! Not a penny! Perhaps no one borrowed my books, but plenty of people bought them, and I did make enough money back in the day to repay the time I'd spent writing them. It is my suspicion, therefore, that the money was shared amongst successful and rich authors, people with enough influence to influence the people who needed to be influenced, leaving me powerless and broke at least in my public lending right account. At this point, I need to ask you, how do you feel about the French system and the private copying levy in general? You have to pay, whether you copy music, movies and TV shows or not, but plenty of people do, and they're making, I'll call it a contribution. At least in theory, it will go to compensate rights holders for their efforts, which is actual work, don't forget. Music isn't a charity. Ask Paul McCartney and see what he thinks. So, how do you feel? Did you buy your phone in France or any of the countries with a private copying levy? Were you ripped off? Should music copying just be a free-for-all? Should composers, lyricists and performers get paid at all for their recordings? Or should they make all their money from ticket sales and merch, tickets, mugs and T-shirts? Are you a composer, songwriter or performer? Do you get any money from the private copying levy? Let us all know in the comments. See you soon.